to another episode of Wordle Nerds. Um, I know if you're not in Pacific time zone, it's already Thursday for you. Uh, but my friend Ben is here, and he's going to help me play tonight. This is actually the Spotify code is related to him because he's got a podcast called Failure Guy. So check this out. If you got the Spotify app, you hit the search function, hit the camera up there, and then you scan the code. It'll actually bring you to the main page for the Failure Guy podcast. It won't play automatically the way the code will for a specific song because this is going to his whole podcast. You'll see the list of episodes. Check it out. Ben Currier, hopefully I'm saying that right. He's my guest tonight. Oh, and I'm going to turn off this helicopter because the noise is a little distracting. But anyway, Ben, thank you for joining me tonight. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. Yeah, and you pronounced it right, Currier. Some people say Gabe says Currier, and I have never corrected him. So,
Oh yeah,
he,
Gabe Leal.
yeah,
Gabe.
I
Gabe.
thought his name was Gabe. I used to correct people, even though it's Gabe apparently. So he fooled me. So I'm not going to correct him about my name
There you
until he
go.
figures it out, at least.
There you go.
Yeah,
And just so you know, yes, we are live now as of 53 seconds ago.
perfect.
And okay, so some of these are. Oh, it looks like Sonal is joining us live from the UK. She was
Hey,
actually my
Snell.
guest a few weeks ago, so I
Oh,
see
cool.
her there. Thanks for watching.
This is my first time playing Wordle for everybody out there. I've never played it. I resisted the ability to play it until this moment. So,
That's cool. That'll make it even more fun, I think.
yeah.
So you see, right now my streak is a measly 7-day consecutive streak. What did I do? I think I forgot to play. Yeah, it wasn't that I like couldn't solve it. It was just like one day I forgot to play. I started a new job recently,
hmm
and I was probably focused on that or building a
It looked
Lego thing
Was
or
that a
whatever.
99% win rate though? Is that what I saw? 99%?
Yeah. Out of 230 games, basically all it means is that I got it in 6 guesses or less, right? I
Gotcha.
mean,
Hey
so it's
Seb.
not super many. Hey, Sebastian, cool. He's probably in Switzerland, but definitely I was pretty sure he's in Europe. Hey, Seb,
Yeah.
cool, nice to see you there.
I think he's in
Um,
Zurich or something like that.
yeah, I mean, unless he's traveling though, you know,
True.
because there's a bunch of people that are normally in Europe who are here right now. People from Europe, people from India. Um,
Mm.
you know, the I told you about the event that I went to earlier where
Yeah.
Ding was rapping. So a lot of people are in San Francisco, San Mateo right now for this conference, SaaS, software as a service. I think the full name is Sastra, but I don't know if
Yes.
you let it go.
SAASTR, I think, right? Saster.
There might be an
I've
E at the
seen it
end,
a lot.
but I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
think
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
I
Anyway.
don't know anything, but I did see a lot. I saw it written and I was like, why would it be STR at the end? So, hey, what's up,
Yeah.
Miko?
Oh, you see another person there? I didn't.
Yeah. Miko's coming in from Bulgaria. I was just on a call with him before we joined in
Is
here.
that through YouTube or is that
No, it's on LinkedIn. Or at least I see it
oh,
on mine. No idea,
interesting?
but you don't see
Yeah,
the same thing?
I don't. I see Sylvia, Sonal, and Sebastian. But
I see Seb said still in Zurich. LinkedIn user said hello, good luck. Thank you, LinkedIn user. I don't know who you are, but you're probably awesome. And we got
yeah,
Miko there.
that's Sylvia.
Oh,
So
okay, nice.
cool. Yeah, maybe because for me the LinkedIn app is on my iPad, it might be a little bit of a lag on the
Oh,
comments
okay,
on it. But anyway,
gotcha.
cool. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Um, in honor of Ben's podcast Failure Guy and the awesome vanity plate. By the way, is that a real license plate in the background?
It is.
Like a legal one that could or was at some
It
point on your
was on my
cars?
car. I totaled my car, so maybe negative
Oh,
manifestation is real. Don't put failure on your
seriously,
license
talk about
plate,
a
but
failure.
I got to keep the plate at least.
That is a great story, and yeah, because I seen that. Like I know that's part of the image you have on the main
Yeah,
screen of your
that's
podcast,
on the
and it
podcast.
made
It's
me.
on my car, the car that it used to be on, which is a Prius, but that had already been totaled before in a hailstorm. So I was like, it looks like a golf ball. It looks terrible. So I might as well put the failure plate on it. And then I did that for like a year and a half with the failure plate, which is fun, interesting. It's not always the best to be able to people know what your plate is all the time if there's like a road rage scenario. But
That's true. Makes me, yeah. Whereas if it's just a Prius with like a random alphanumeric plate, a lot
true.
easier to forget and think, oh wait, was it this one? Was it that one?
Yeah, Prius
Yeah.
don't they don't get a lot of love anyway, so I feel like the failure thing was like a little self-deprecating on top of it. So they're like, "Oh, we'll make fun of this guy." Wait, never mind. He's got a lot going on, probably. So,
Or he's
you
already
know,
making fun of himself. He did my job for me, right?
yeah. I had a bumper sticker that said "honk if you're a big failure." I thought I'd get a lot of honks, but it was actually a honk deterrent because people don't want to be a failure, I guess. So I thought it'd
Oh,
be like I'd be getting. I mean,
people didn't want to admit to their failures.
it's more. Yeah, it was. They took it more like honk if you're an not cool person. I imagine, but who knows?
Mhm.
I think I just have a warped view of failure, probably.
Well, after we play Wordle, I would love to hear why you chose to call your podcast Failure Guy.
For sure.
In honor of your podcast, as I suggested earlier, I thought that our first word that we guessed tonight could be the word fails.
Sounds good to me.
See where that leads us. So,
All green.
oh,
Oh,
how
failure.
appropriate, actually, right? Like you said,
Yeah,
the negative manifestation.
there we go.
Okay,
Hey, we know
but
what's not there.
exactly. And I'm proud to be one of those people who can learn from his failures.
Hmm.
So let's see if this does us any good. Wow.
That
Okay.
has
Well,
that
then
happened? Have you ever had that happen? Yeah,
I don't think I've ever had the first two lines all black, actually.
that's impressive.
Um, so yeah, I guess we're probably looking for a word that contains an E or a Y or both, because we need some vowels in our five-letter word, at least one, right?
Mm,
Um,
yes. Um, it's not gonna. It won't be the word, but every. EVERY.
yeah, we can do that. And actually, what's cool about that? Usually, I don't like guessing words with double letters, but
Mm-hmm.
since there's a high probability that E is in this word and we
Hopefully, one
don't
of
know
them will
which
be right.
position, it
Yeah.
allows us to check two positions at once. Plus, sometimes you get words that have uh, the same letter doubled,
Hmm.
and this will show us that even if it's not the word, it'll
Well, yeah,
if
because the
both.
R is in there, so that means it won't work. But still, might
No,
give us
no,
some insight.
but what I'm saying is like by guessing the word every,
Hmm.
if the correct answer is some other word that also contains two E's, like
Oh yeah,
bees or whatever, both E's would at least turn yellow, showing that there are two E's. Whereas if one
gotcha.
E turns yellow and the other E turns black, then you know, oh, you only have one E.
Yeah,
So
there's no way they're all black because there's got to be an E or a Y, right?
there's got to be. All
All
right.
right, here we go.
Only one E and
Ooh.
only one Y, and not in those spots. Well, okay, there could be more than one Y, actually. We don't know yet. We know there's
Hmm.
only one E. There's probably only one Y. Um, Sebastian's telling me to refresh. I don't know. He's probably talking about what I was talking about, not seeing that other. I still don't see that other person that you're talking about as far as the comment, but that's all right.
Yeah, Seb said refresh. I definitely see Miko said good morning from Bulgaria with a smiley face. I'm trying to think of what it could be. So it's got to be a Y and an E, not in those positions, but the rest of the word can't have any of those other vowels. So it's got to be Y's and
Right.
E's are the only vowels, right? Or the only.
Uh, yeah, and none of
Hmm.
those consonants either.
I know. It's
Oh,
odd.
hey, Felix.
What's up,
Thank
Felix?
you.
Hmm. Oh man. Okay. I was thinking like something that starts with Y, like yeah. Um. Everything I think of has some of the other letters up there in
I
it,
know
like
it's hard, right?
East or something. But
Right. So
um,
there's no S, there's no A. We
yeah,
didn't try T yet, but yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like our next guest should put both E and Y in different positions.
try. Oh no, see, this is a tough one.
This is when I get to that point where I'm glad there's no timer,
Yeah,
other than the one behind me, right? But I'm sure it won't take us 20 minutes.
uh,
Oh, Sylvia already knows the answer, so she's not gonna
that's okay. She
spoil it
knows
for
we're
us.
we're way off at this point, at
Thank you,
least.
Sylvia. Yeah.
Um, Can they be proper nouns? I'm not going to do it because I know Yemen won't be there, but can you do something like that or no?
No, it won't.
Okay.
Usually it won't. Although, you know what's weird? The word Erica is acceptable because in addition to being a girl's name, it is also a noun. It's like the name of a plant. Um,
Mm.
but
Oh, oh shoot.
if it's only a proper noun, like a person's name, then it won't accept that. Um, there's actually no harm in trying something. Like if the word's not in its list, it'll just reject it. It won't waste your
Yeah,
time.
but still, I think we can come up with a better one. So I'm either thinking it would be starting with a Y, or maybe there's a Y in the middle somewhere. But like, since we can only use those vowels, I feel like they've got to combine in some way. Uh,
And the weird
uh,
thing is, most words that I think of with Y have the Y at the end.
yeah, me too. I was thinking Marcy and all sorts of things, even though I know it won't have an R. But I was thinking like yearn and stuff, but that's not gonna. We know that a lot of these are getting eliminated based on what's above.
Yeah.
So, and there's only one E. I can't think how there'd be two Y's. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Not not never. Okay. So now I'll already
If we
change
can't, if
it.
we come out, if we run out of time, I'd go with yeast. But I don't. I know that's not. But maybe we'll find out if the Y's and the E are in the right place with that. I can't think of a better word that would switch around the Y and the E. I don't know if you've got anything mulling around up
Uh,
there.
well,
Uh,
okay. So one thing we could do is
well, let's see.
temporarily we could temporarily forget about the Y and just try to guess a word that puts the E in other places and assesses new consonants.
Okay.
Um,
Something with a T and
like like what about tenet? Tenet, right? That's a
sure.
word that puts the E in two different spots.
Yep.
Um, kind of a
Let's do
waste
it.
to have the double T because I
I
kind
don't
of
mind. It could
yeah.
be two T's in the real thing.
Can
We don't know. T's not eliminated
we
yet.
think of another word that's like that that has the E in the second and fourth position
Yes.
without doubling a consonant? Because I want to check as many. I don't want to not assess consonants when we have the chance to assess them.
Yep. So,
Like if we hadn't already eliminated V and R, I would say, oh, let's try never. Right?
mhm.
That would be NEVER, but that's a waste. So, I mean, tenet is possible, but if we can find something without a double consonant, that'd be better.
Uh,
Um,
bid- bidet. No, we know that. No, I won't put the E there. That'll be an I. I'm trying to use a. Oh, we already have a D there too. So,
mhm.
I don't like. I don't mind tenant. Let's go with that. See what
All
happens.
right. Did you ever see that movie, by
Maybe.
the way?
Yeah, I saw most of it. It was kind of. I think I might have saw all of it, but it was pretty confusing.
Okay,
I
I
love
didn't see it.
his movies, but that one was a little bit too much. Okay, we got a green T.
Fuck.
What about
Okay.
thyme? Thyme,
Okay, so you know
the
what?
garlic, the herb, whatever. Thyme, THYME.
Yeah, because we know the E is the last letter now. Look, we've already tried
Yeah,
E
it's got
in
to
every
be.
other position. Thyme.
I think that's it.
And you know what's funny is that the movie Tenet is about time, but the other thing is time.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Come
that
on,
would
give me
be
the
crazy.
green. Give me the green.
Let's go, let's go.
Oh
Nice.
boy, with one
All
to
right.
spare.
Good job, Ben. Thank you. That was cool. I was almost thinking like I'm about to reset my 7 day streak back to a 0 day streak, but we got it.
That's awesome.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. Cool. I'm glad we went with Tenet then, because hey, look at
That unlocked the rest of it for me at least.
that. Yeah. Cool.
So that's it. There's only one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. There's only one per day, so that was Wednesday's game, and in 15 minutes,
We crushed
I
it.
might play Thursday's game, but who knows? Or I might just go to sleep because I got to go to work tomorrow.
Ah,
Uh,
too easy, Seb. That's wrong. It was a
Dad,
tough
come
one.
on! It took us 5 out of 6 guesses. It was the right amount of challenging.
Yeah, we had very little going into that fourth one.
Yeah, right.
So they do this every day. New York Times puts it out.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's on their website. It's just newyorktimes.com/game/Wordle.
Very
Um,
cool.
there's no app to download. Although if you go to the App Store, you will find a Wordle app, but it's not this game. It's a similar game. Um,
Gotcha.
the official one is only off the New York Times website, but
Very
it's
cool.
free. Yes, Sebastian, I do need to sleep. That is true. I do need to sleep eventually. But first, I still want to hear Ben tell us why he chose the name Failure Guy for his podcast. And I
Yeah.
guess the other thing I want to ask, although maybe the answer to this question will be evident based on your answer to the first question, is there any relationship between the Failure Guy podcast and your expertise with Excel and spreadsheets? Or are they just
Okay.
like two things?
Well, there's very little, but I'll explain. All right. So I was reading a lot of self help books, self improvement books, like how to get better at life or whatever you want to call it. And a lot of
Mhm.
them, I was realizing I wasn't putting any of the things that I was learning into effect in my life. But almost all of them said that embracing failure was a big part of a way of going into that growth mindset and something that you had to work on. I was like, well, that's one of the few things that I'm decent at is getting comfortable, or I failed a lot. So, and
Okay.
I've gotten comfortable with it. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll write a book on failure. So I was going to write a book called The Power of Failure or The Power of Effing Up. I don't know if we can swear in here, so I won't. But
Probably not supposed to, but
then it was going to be why I'm happy I was fired from every job I've ever had, which is true. I'm 6 or 6 now. So that's kind of where the failure mantra and the moniker was related to. And then I was like, oh, well, I only really have this one specific brand of failure. So I was going to write a book. Instead, I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll start interviewing people for a podcast. And then I'd get more insight as to what it's like. And, I view failure as a necessary
oh,
part of the journey towards success. And I'm not at success yet. So I figure I'll interview people who have had some sort of success and talk about the more difficult times of their experience and hopefully be more informed when I do write that book. But I had the license plate on before I was going to write a book, before I was going to do any podcast. I was just like, if I ever looked at that every day when I go to my car, I'll have to get comfortable with failure because I'll be seeing it all the time. And some days I was like,
oh,
why the
okay.
hell did I put it on my car? Some days I'm
That
like, man, this sucks.
that's cool to know that because honestly, I think I assumed that you got that vanity plate after creating your podcast.
Now it's more like exposure therapy to like wearing that and getting past that in order to be okay with failing, in order to get to the other side of it.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
like that.
So I started the podcast I think September 2020, so almost 2 years. Almost exactly 2 years in 2 weeks. I think it'll be 2 years. Releasing episode 70 tomorrow, which is Travis Lochner. You know him,
Yes, I
T
do.
Lock. So I'm like 35 minutes into 45 minutes of editing and that. So I'm going to be finishing that afterwards. I'm not going to go to sleep like Seb said, but I will get that ready for release in the morning.
You said the
And
one with Travis Lochner will be episode 70.
yep,
Does that mean Tracy Becca is 69 and Shara is
correct.
68?
Yep. I used to have the numbers in front, but then I feel like it's a waste of 5 characters. It'd be like 060 space dash. It would just
Mm,
figured I'd rather have them be able to see their name and stuff. But
yeah.
yeah, so I'm on the track towards my original goal was 100. I've already got like 40 that I recorded that I haven't edited. But
Oh, that puts you past 100 then if you
yeah,
manage
because
to do.
Seth Godin, who's one of my favorite authors and just people, he had originally said if you have a podcast that's over 100 episodes, he'll be on your show regardless. Now that's not true anymore. I've talked to him on
Maybe it's
email
too
and stuff,
famous.
and he
It's
said
too busy.
there's too many podcasts now and there's just got to be too much, but it was still
Uh,
my unofficial reason for trying to get there. So
hey, it doesn't mean he won't be on yours though.
that's true. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get him before 100. So maybe I'll get him in the next couple months. We'll
That would
see.
be
But
that would be cool.
yeah, it's fun. It's interesting. I'd say if anybody feel like they want to start one, just go for it because it's one of the fewer things where there's no intermediary between you and the audience. You can kind of say whatever you want. There's not a lot of filtering going on.
Yeah. Did you ever do any episodes of Failure Guy where it's you by yourself, or is it always you with a guest?
So I've recorded 4 hours of a solo one in the Grand Canyon, and I haven't released
Ooh,
any of it. I took a
that's
bunch of
cool.
edibles, weed edibles, and just talked to the microphone for 4 hours.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
And
you talked to the canyon.
I've edited it and thought about releasing it, but I haven't yet figured out if it makes sense to release. It's more like a long therapy session with the microphone kind of thing. So I might release it at some point, but at the moment, it's just the interview format for now. But it was like 2 years ago. I want to do something. I'm calling it the world's first time traveling podcast. So where like
Okay.
every week you'd go 20 minutes into the Grand Canyon night, like almost like a time capsule. But then I can also put in other times as well because I've realized that you can. So like, let's say I forgot to post one this week and I wanted to backdate it and say I posted
Mhm.
it last week. You can do that and no one cares. It'll just update and it'll show it as last week. What if you put it as 1885, like from Back to the Future? What if you put that as the date? I don't know what breaks, if things break or not. So I want to try to do a time traveling podcast where it seems like it's posted during the
That,
year it takes place or something. I don't know. I like time travel,
that,
so
yeah, that's a cool. That sounds like a cool experiment.
yeah, we'll see. And I did a lot of interviewing my grandmother, who's like 90. She just turned 91, but when we recorded, she was 90. So I released a whole episode of her. But I've also got stories from back in the day where I could like put the date as whatever 1949 or something when it
Hmm.
happened. So I might want to play around with that, but we'll see. But yeah, so far I've only released interview type ones, and then I've got a couple other things in the mix. I don't know if you saw me and Angelique and Mark doing the unlicensed
On,
therapy thing, which is a
on LinkedIn.
different. Yeah, we might be doing
Yeah.
that as a video thing instead of a podcast, but we'll see.
So everything with the Failure Guy podcast is purely audio.
I've done a few where I have the video. Like Angelique's episode is like an hour and a half, and it's all that whole video is released. But I
Okay.
usually edit it for audio, and I'm just not that good at editing video, so it's hard enough for me to get things out. I could talk forever, but editing it is takes a little bit longer.
Yeah. What software are you using for the editing?
So I do my interviews in Zoom, which gives me an audio file for me and an audio file for them, and then I take it into Adobe Audition and remaster them, and then also like if we're talking over each other, move it around and stuff like that. So
Oh,
um,
because you have the separate audio tracks for the two.
yeah, like usually
Yeah.
I'll interrupt people, like kind of like I'm doing now, and so I'll be like, okay, I'll move it, so you can't tell I'm interrupting.
Yeah.
Stuff
Actually,
like that.
even Restream Studio,
Hmm.
it gives you that option if you have the like one of their paid plans. I think I have the cheapest plan,
Hmm.
so I think if I were to download the audio from this, it would just be one single audio thing. But if I
Gotcha.
had the more expensive version of Restream Studio, it would give me separate audio for me and you.
So I have
And
lifetime access to Restream that I got back in the day for only like $60. I
what?
never have to pay for it again. Yeah,
A
but I think I can.
one time fee of $60?
Yeah, so there's this website called AppSumo that I buy a lot of things from, and Restream was on there. This is before they were popular. So you buy
Oh,
it,
okay.
and you're like one of the first people. So you get lifetime access, but you don't know if it's gonna become anything or if they'll still be in existence. A
Right.
few years later. But I've spent like 12 grand on that site, so I've got 180 different lifetime software things. So I've got a lot. But Restream, I was like, oh wow, it became popular, and now I have a
Is
thing
that what
for it.
you used for your stuff on LinkedIn Live? LinkedIn Live stuff?
I think I've only used Restream so far. Martin, who just said something about I forgot to fail at Wordle. He was in my first LinkedIn Live with me that we did. He's over in UK or in England, so
Oh, cool.
we tried it. We think we did it in Restream. He has StreamYard, but I've also got lifetime access for Wave.video, which I haven't tried for the streaming side, but I've heard good things. I've also got lifetime for Melon
Man,
app,
I
which
don't
is a
think I know
different
about the Wave
one.
thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Gabe talked about it a few times, or at least used to use it for a bit, but now he does whatever Ecamm or something. I forget what his
Is the Wave
thing
thing
is.
similar to Restream and StreamYard, or is it
But when I got it, it was more of like a video hosting thing, but then they introduced the streaming piece. So I haven't really tried it out, but some people swear by it. So I don't
okay?
know.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I feel like I have heard people talk about it, but I just didn't know enough about it to really pay attention because I mostly know about StreamYard and Restream, and then
Hmm.
I've been using Restream, so it works okay.
I've heard good things about Riverside too for podcasting at least. I'm not sure. At least you can get good high quality video and audio. So I'm not sure. I do have a video of every single podcast I've done. It's just I just don't edit. But at some point I'll take like 3 minutes and I'll make that edited so I can put it on LinkedIn as like a promo. But I
Right.
usually don't do the whole thing because I'm just bad at it. I'm not good at video editing.
It's probably also a lot more time consuming than audio editing,
Yeah,
right?
or at least when I did. So like Angelique's, I did in video only, and then I took that audio and put it as the podcast. But you can't tell what's going on some of the time because I left in stuff where it's like visual.
Yeah,
but in the audio format, it doesn't transfer over quite as well. So it's
right. You just like you hear this pause and you're like, okay, what are they doing? What's
yeah, or
going
like
on?
I'm showing her my shirt and stuff or whatever, things like that where you can't see what we're doing.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like the toucan thing, the invisible live stream where you can't see it unless you're in
Uh huh.
toucan, right?
Right. Yeah. I think we might do that again sometime. Gabe sounded like he wanted to give it another try, and hopefully Monique wants to join us for that again too.
Yeah, that was fun.
But at one point we were loosely talking about doing it for this coming Saturday. At this point, I don't think we will, just because it's already Wednesday and we haven't confirmed it. So, but
Hmm.
maybe some future Saturday. I think it would be fun to give it another try.
Yeah,
Uh, and it would be awesome to have you there again. Whether it's for AI generated images or maybe you want to get in on the sound guessing game that we were talking about, where Gabe would turn off his camera and be like eating snacks or doing other weird things that make noise, and you have to try to guess what's making that noise, right?
that sounds fun.
Um, and then the thing with that portion is that initially anyone who's listening through LinkedIn would
Hmm.
almost be on equal footing with the people that are with us on Toucan, right? Because
Yeah,
his
because the
camera would be
sound.
turned off.
Yeah,
But then the reveal, like getting the answer of what was that thing, what made that sound, the reveal might be purely visual. Like we might just have him turn his camera back on. So people that are with us in
and
Toucan will
he's
see
eating.
it. Yeah, but if you're just listening on LinkedIn and you're like, you still don't know what the sound was, I
Sounds
don't know.
fun.
I also would love to do something that involves music, like maybe having somebody performing music and
I've got a guitar
you know,
somewhere.
yeah,
I don't know
you
where.
or get Jacob Schwer to do a guitar and sing along thing, or
There you go.
even do you know Genevieve? Um, she's in Spain.
How you
She
spell
does
it?
this. She does a podcast called the Mint Green Ukulele Podcast. She also knows how to play ukulele, and she's a good singer.
Sounds
I'll send you
exciting. I
one of
don't know
her
if I've.
posts later.
Yeah,
She
show
was
me that.
actually she was my guest on Wordle Nerds a few months ago. Um, but I know she can sing and I know she plays ukulele, so I'm just trying to think of like people that I know that actually play instruments. I think that would be fun.
Chris Bogue does the. He plays his little clarinety thing. It's an electronic
Oh,
clarinet, but he did Baker Street on the podcast and something else. I
oh,
tried to get him to
really?
do Careless Whisper, which I think he did a decent job of.
George Michael
Yeah,
or
that
Wham?
one.
Is it a George
George
Michael?
Michael. It was George Michael. Yeah,
Okay. Okay, I like that
it
song.
was in the Wham time period, but it was just him. I don't know why, because
Okay,
it wasn't, or at least wasn't on the Faith album, which I think was his first real
first official solo album, right?
away from Wham. But I'm pretty sure that
Mhm.
Careless Whisper came out earlier, but I could be wrong. I was pretty young at the
Oh,
time, so.
I'm gonna listen to that song when we're done.
Wee did it do, wee did it do.
A
Yeah,
good
he did
song.
a decent version, so you could get him
Sebe-
to.
Sebastian made a comment that I didn't notice at first, but he said separate audio comes in later. I think.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
saw that. I
sure.
didn't know what it meant, so I just ignored it. Meaning,
Okay.
I didn't know if you meant from Restream
Yeah.
or what did that cryptic message mean. But I'm glad he's
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. So, are you and Angelique and Martin going to do another unlicensed therapy at some point?
So we've done probably 4 hours of it, and then we've been just chopping it up into like 5 to 10 minute blocks. So we've got a lot of different content. We're just not sure how we're going to release it. So we're thinking it's more of a video format kind of thing. And Angelique is really good at video editing, which I'm not. So hopefully I get
Okay,
some of her. Hopefully she shows me how it works and some of her skills rub off on me. But since she's so good at it, we want to somehow focus it on video, but we're not sure
that's cool.
exactly how. So we're still figuring that out.
I thought I heard that Spotify might start supporting video podcasts, or maybe they have already. But
Really.
I also have not ever tried to find a video podcast on Spotify. I just think of Spotify as an audio thing.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think a lot of people think of it, but if
Hmm.
they did start to support video podcasts, I think that would be kind of cool.
Well, they already do play like a little video if you're watching music or something. It'll show like the music video repeating like a 4 second
Almost like
thing or
an
something.
animated GIF kind of thing.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe that's the start of that kind of thing.
yeah, laying the groundwork. I mean, it would make sense for music videos, right? I guess.
Yeah.
So, but
And
then
they
do they become a competitor of YouTube or like YouTube Music? I don't
they don't mind. I
know.
mean, they're already a competitor of YouTube Music. I'm sure they want to compete and whatever it is. But it'd be cool to have that because like Joe Rogan's on theirs. I don't listen to it much anymore, but they also always have a video, so they could just put that video pretty
Mhm.
easily with along with it. Could be cool. So
Yeah,
I think we're gonna focus on video based stuff. We might even put it on TikTok. I know I'm friends with you on TikTok, but I barely use it, so I haven't posted anything.
yeah. I have not been on TikTok in months, honestly. I shared like 3 videos there so far, and then kind of focused on other things in my life.
Yeah, it's crazy how
Um,
many views things get though. It's nuts.
it is, yeah. I think what I should maybe do is occasionally share things over there that I made for LinkedIn, but it's like if you've already made it, might as well share it on both platforms.
Yeah, can't hurt.
Because, yeah, like there was one video that I shared initially for LinkedIn, whereas like the first 2 things I did on TikTok were specifically for TikTok.
Hmm.
The third and last thing that I shared on TikTok was something that I initially was just thinking of LinkedIn, but I was like, oh, why not put this on TikTok too? It was like a video of me riding my skateboard in downtown San Francisco, and like there's these 3 vehicles from a company called Zooks where they're training them for autonomous driving. So they're
Oh,
just like
cool.
these SUVs set up with sensors and cameras and stuff.
Hmm.
And I'm like skating in the middle of them and a bunch of other random cars. And I just thought it looked cool. And so like, I was doing the whole thing with my phone and just kind of like panning to like get the first car and the second one and the third one. And then I did a loop behind them and it got a bunch of views. But for me on LinkedIn, a bunch of
Hmm.
views or a bunch of reactions might be like 100, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't really get a lot of. I've never gone viral or whatever, and that's okay.
Hmm.
But that same video, when you put it on TikTok, it just circulated so much more.
Yeah.
And
I want
so,
to start trying to figure out how to use it. Oh,
yeah.
by the way, check out this cool candle I got. It looks like just a Jesus candle, but it's Paul Rudd.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I know some people who would love that.
Yeah.
Yo, is
I have
there
that
another
picture.
there's another Ant Man movie coming out at some point, right?
No idea. I did at one
Oh,
point post a picture of me and him because when I was a big slick, I got him to take a picture with my phone of a selfie of us, but I didn't get him to do the thing he does with it. So he does
wait,
this stupid
you
thing.
you actually met him?
Yeah, yeah. I posted it somewhere, but I can show you that. Uh, but yeah, he took a picture of it. But he does this thing where he'll put his finger in front of it. And it looks kind of like someone's legs and crotch that he's done many times on different ones. I forgot to ask him to do that on mine, unfortunately. But yeah, there's a picture of him taking a picture of me and a couple other people behind me, but with
That's
my
cool.
phone. So then I had his fingerprints. I could have done something with it, but I didn't, of course.
It's probably better that you didn't.
Yeah, but I'll
Uh,
send you that after, or when I figure out where I have it saved or whatever. I posted on LinkedIn a couple times, but
that's
in a
cool.
comment in a post. But yeah, no, it's fun. He's a fun guy. So that's why a friend got me that candle.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's cool. I think all the celebrities that I've met are not real celebrities. They're like cardboard cutouts of celebrities.
or
You know,
wax figures or something.
no, not even just like the cardboard, like the life size cardboard cutout. I got a picture of me
Yeah.
with Bob Ross. I got a picture of me with Drake.
Oh, look at
And
you.
then or Jan, the lady in the red shirt from the Toyota commercials.
No,
No, that's from a couple years ago, but
you got
whatever.
a cardboard cutout version of her.
I mean, I don't have it, but like I
I
went
mean,
to a car
you.
show. There was a
Yeah,
car show, and then at the Toyota booth, there was a cardboard cutout of the girl who had been in all their TV commercials. Um, not
that's pretty
even like
cool.
not even really famous, just like TV commercial famous. You know,
Yeah. Well, you're like
Toyota.
2 degrees away. You're close to the cardboard. That was of them. That's like 2 degrees of separation, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob
Did
Ross
you
was
tell
here.
every?
And,
Did you
what?
tell everybody you built the helicopter this week? Do people know
Um.
that that's new, or at least you showed me the whole bag of pieces or something earlier in the week, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I made. Well, I built that for the Snack Selfie challenge that started on Tuesday,
Oh,
yesterday.
do I gotta take another picture with a snack? Is it headphones or something else or
No, this time the requirement is just that you need to have a mug.
a mug? Okay,
Yeah, because the sponsor's a coffee company. The This month the sponsor is Ariel Resupply Coffee.
hmm,
So their logo has a helicopter, like and then like a parachute. Kind of like they're dropping down the coffee from the helicopter.
gotcha.
So yeah, so I went
I'll,
out and
I'll
bought
hold a
that.
mug.
That's it.
I'll
What'd you
make it
say?
a mug shot. I'll do a mug shot. holding a
There you
mug.
go. We need a mug shot. And if you can have a helicopter in the background, that's cool too, but not required. The requirement is the mug. So
Cool.
yeah, a mug shot, definitely.
I'll definitely get on it then. Yeah.
Looks like Sonal's got to take off, or she did already. But thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
And
Thanks.
yeah, actually, I think I probably want to wrap it up now too because it is after midnight, and
Yeah,
I've
I gotta
been
get this episode finished that I'm editing as well.
true. Okay, cool. The
Yeah, but thank you for having me. I
when are you
appreciate it.
releasing the next episode?
I usually try to release it at 6:30 in the morning because that's like when the U.S. starts its
Oh,
day, but also it's midday in England.
so
Supposedly
tomorrow.
Tuesdays at 6:30 Eastern are the best time to release, but I'm gonna do it at the same time of day, but on Thursday.
There
It's
you go.
really because I don't have things done in advance. I do it like the night before, like a
Uh
school
huh.
project or whatever, you know.
There you go.
So yeah, I need the time crunch.
You need some Mountain Dew or some Red Bull too.
No, I'm good. I've got a couple drinks. I think I got a one of those Bang energy drinks over there. So
All right,
I'm
cool.
all set.
Well, happy editing, and
Thank you.
I'll refresh my Spotify page to check it out tomorrow.
Sounds good. Yeah, and I'll send you that picture of me and Paul Rudd.
Awesome, cool. Thanks
Thanks
again, Ben. Thanks
to
for
who said great game. Was that the one?
Sylvia.
Sylvia? Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks
Appreciate
everybody
it.
for watching, and thank you, Ben. I'm
Yeah,
gonna end the
thanks for having
stream.
me. Appreciate it.
All right.